Okay, so these are the questions that have like more of a historical base about like when you were growing up. So, did someone in your family fight in World War II?
Actually, my father was in the war, and my four uncles, and no one got killed.
Do you know what they did in the war? Like they were overseas, right?
Navy, Army, Marines.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, my father was in the Navy. He was all over. Well, I know he was in Africa.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah. He enjoyed it.
He liked it?
I think he did.
Do you remember the fear of communists and the fear of communism? Or anything along with that wave of fear?
Only practicing to hide under our desks in school in case there was a bomb.
Yeah.
Because that was really going to save us.
Was that like scary to you, or did it just?
No,
You were just
I don't
kind of.
remember
It was just
being,
something like a fire drill. It was just kind of part of it.
I don't remember being really
like fearful.
frightened.
What do you remember about Sputnik or Sputnik?
Not much.
Nothing.
No.
Did anyone ever like talk about it?
No, we didn't.
You
no.
don't.
Our family was not a big current events group.
Yeah.
I knew of it, but I didn't know anything.
It didn't like add to like any fear or any like panic. It just was kind of. What do you remember about first seeing a TV, or what was your experience first getting
we
a
had
television?
a little one in our house, first one on the block, as did your grandfather. It was very tiny, and it was exciting. And then, of course, we had Howdy Doody and Frontier Playhouse and all that fun stuff.
Do you feel that you like watched a lot of TV? Like were you like fascinated?
Well, there wasn't a lot in the beginning. There wasn't a lot on.
Yeah.
And I wasn't interested in the news, just cartoons and stuff. It was fascinating.
And then, what do you remember about the new rock and roll?
Oh, we were all into the rock and roll. Yeah, with the jeans, the rolled up. Everybody had jeans rolled up, and sneakers and bobby socks. Music.
You think like that revolved around like your world? Like do you remember a lot of music?
Oh, sure, because you had to grab and buy the 45 records.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't really hip unless you got the record. And dancing with the refrigerator.
You danced with the refrigerator?
Well, you had to learn how to jitterbug.
So you did it with the fridge?
Yeah, we used to dance with the refrigerator.
That's funny. Okay, so these are more like historical history questions about you and your family. So where were you born?
In a hospital in Norristown.
And then what is your nationality?
My mother's side is all Italian. My father's side is Hungarian and Serbian.
What do you know about your family name? What is your family name?
When I was young?
Yeah, now.
Not married.
When you're, not now,
okay,
when you're young,
well,
growing up.
Graydon was the family name, which was changed or shortened a little bit when my grandfather came over from Serbia.
What was it changed from?
Yeah, I think it was, it sounded like Grodzden, and they shortened it to Graydon.
And what, that would be, what language?
That was my Serbian grandfather.
And then when and where were your grandparents born?
My mother's mother and father were born in Italy, the turn of the century, and my father's mother was born in Hungary, and my father's father was born in Serbia, all about the same era.
Time.
Yeah.
And what were their full names?
It was Joseph Graydon, Anna Ballant Graydon, Biagio Malazzi, Mary Anna Varallo Malazzi.
And then what were the full names of your own parents?
Mary and Joseph Graydon.
And then what was your mother's maiden name?
Malazzi.
And then when and where were they born? And where did they grow up?
They were born in the Ambler area. I don't know if they were born at home or in a hospital, but they were raised in Ambler.
So they were born and then they grew up in Ambler.
Right.
Who were your favorite relatives?
I had a lot of aunts and uncles, and I had a favorite aunt who was a maiden aunt who was a bookkeeper in Philadelphia. She took the train with her gloves and her little hat. She never married, and she was my favorite aunt.
And what about her do you think made her your favorite?
Well, she loved me. She loved worrying about me. And she was different because she had a career. She never married. And lived with my grandparents. And she was a good influence.
And then how many brothers and or sisters did you have?
I have one brother, Joseph, one full brother. And I have a half-brother that lives in Michigan that I never see.
When were they born in relationship to you?
My brother Joseph was 3 years older than myself, and my half-brother was born when I was 12.
So he's younger. You have a younger and an older.
Yeah.
Where did you live as a child? Where did you grow up?
I lived in Ambler.
And what did your hometown or house look like?
Oh.
Like, what do you remember about it?
It was half of a stone twin, 3 stories, in a great close-knit neighborhood. I had an aunt and uncle with 3 daughters that lived across the street that owned a grocery store. And all the neighbors were close and good people and friendly.
And is that, what do you miss most about it? You miss, the closeness?
The security, the closeness. They were always there to help each other.
And then how much schooling did you have?
I graduated high school, took some courses at Monco, comparative religion and psychology, and anatomy and physiology and health and wellness. Excuse me, and I also took a course in therapeutic massage.
And then did you have a favorite subject?
I always liked history.
That was the most interesting to you?
Yeah, but I do like health and wellness.
Oh, okay.
That's interesting to everyone.
And what subject did you dislike the most?
Science, math, in school.
Yeah. Do you think there was a reason why? Was it difficult, or you just weren't interested?
Wasn't good at it. Well, both. I wasn't good at it.
And then, if you worked as a child or a teenager, what did you do? Summer jobs or?
Yeah, I did some babysitting. Excuse me. And I also worked in a shoe store one summer in Flowertown. That's pretty much it till I got out of high school.
Did you enjoy working, or was it just?
Yeah,
was it work?
It was fun. Felt grown up.
You felt grown up.
Well, especially with the shoe store.
Yeah.
Not the babysitter.
What did you do in the shoe store?
Well, they had nylon stockings at that time in boxes. So I helped with that, and I helped with the shoes, finding shoes.
That's cool. What did you like doing most as a child? What did you do for fun?
Swimming, ice skating, riding my bike, and then later on dancing. And I always took dance lessons. I forgot to tell you that.
Okay.
Yeah. Always.
And then talk about your favorite pet or toy.
You really want me to?
Yeah, you can tell one of the stories.
Okay, well, I'll tell you real quick about the toy. Got it for Christmas one year. It was a little piano with a little stool. And it was broken, so they sent it back, never to be seen again.
And then talk about one of your favorite pets, most memorable to you.
I think the one I remember the most was the Cocker Spaniel that was given away after my mother died. Yeah.
And then, who are your best friends?
My best friend, Joan,
Hmm.
we met because our brothers were friends
Okay.
when we were 12. So we went to high school together, and we're still close friends. She's my best friend.
What'd you guys do together growing up?
Dancing, ice skating, swimming, all of that. Growing up.
And this is the last question, kind of the wrap up. So, who do you think influenced your life the most when you were young? Or what influenced your life?
I think my family, my aunts and uncles, they watched out for me after my mother died. Um, Made sure I was on the right path. And they all cared about me. And my brother.
So, you think they shaped you
Definitely.
to be
Definitely. They
for
were
the
all
better?
hardworking people. Good people. And I was lucky to have them.
Good.
Really.
Oh.